Oh, it's her favorite. It's her favorite. I know.
Your beers are delicious, by the way.
Wow, that is the condensed milk.
Here now is Lisa Bell and Candace Campos with Florida Foodie. Sponsored by Light Orlando, delivering hope together.
Hello and welcome back to Florida Foodie. I'm Candace Campos.
And I'm Lisa Bell. Today's guest is a graduate of Second Harvest Food Bank's culinary training program who now runs her very own bakery out of her home.
Yes, and we're so happy to be joined with Kee Gainey from Kitchen Arabon. Welcome, Kee.
Thank you.
You're a little nervous because, you came into the newsroom before and we fell in love with what you brought, and we just had to
have you back. Yes, we had to have you on the podcast.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about your background. Where are you from and how'd you get started baking?
I am a original Floridian because I was born and raised right here in Orlando, Florida. The baking came about because I've always watched my grandmother. She can make some biscuits. She had this big thing called a trough.
Okay.
It's hollowed out. And she threw her flour in there and her lard and everything and her buttermilk. And next thing you know, she's just these big, fat, wonderful biscuits. I cannot do that.
You don't have a trough at home?
I do have her trough, but biscuits is not my thing. And then there's my mom. She learned from my grandma, and I've always grown up watching her do it. So about the age of 7, my mom wasn't feeling well, and I decided to show her what I could do. So I went in the kitchen, and I made my first cake from scratch.
What? At 7?
At 7. Yes, I stood on a chair, whip up everything, and then the cake came out. It was so beautiful. And I took it in there to show her and everything until we got into it.
Uh-oh.
That was the surprise. I got my tablespoon mixed up with my teaspoon, and I put in a tablespoon of salt.
Ooh.
But it was very beautiful.
It was savory.
Yes,
It was a savory cake.
just couldn't eat it. So that was a big learning experience. So from there, I've just been dabbling here and there, doing what I pretty much learned and saw.
Yeah. And so you eventually moved to Second Harvest and you went through the culinary program there. So for those who don't understand what the Second Harvest culinary program is, can you give us a little bit of background of like what that's all about?
Well, in my case, I stayed home for like 25 years, raising my son, got him through college. He's got his 2 degrees.
Good, congratulations.
And then my parents were getting up in age, and I decided it was time for me to get back out there. And I was like, well, what can you do? No one is going to hire you after this long. You don't have any experience. And I was like, well, what can I do? You can cook. So I said, well, I do need credentials. Where can I go? And when there was this ad, a commercial that I saw for Second Harvest, and I called them up, and I got into their program. So it's a 16-week program. So I was done in about 9.5, 10 weeks. And I had a job.
And that program is amazing because it teaches you everything you basically need to know to become a professional chef or baker.
It's a wonderful program.
And it's free,
anybody.
right?
And it's free. Yes, I was highly blessed to be able to get into that program. They have these fabulous chefs. They teach you everything from A to Z. In my case, I already had experience, so it was a little bit easier for me than for some people, but it really was a great learning experience. My class was class 35, so it's been a minute. And through the process, they also teach you how to make a resume, how to job search, and they give you all of the information that you need. They teach you banking, how to be self-sufficient when you get out there to take care of yourself, because a lot of people are homeless and they don't have the training or the skills that they need to do that. So they teach you quite a bit. It was really a wonderful program. And I was happy when I graduated. So from there, they got me a job. They help you to get work.
That's fantastic.
And that's how I ended up in Winter Park. Because I went to Disney. We had several tours there. And they have wonderful kitchens at Disney. They have floors and floors of kitchens. I was so excited. I was like, oh, wow, especially the pastry part.
Yeah.
I was like, what can I learn in here, But then I started thinking about the traffic.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, fighting that every day to get to work, I don't think I could handle it. And I was like, Lord, please help me. What am I going to do? And they came to me one day and said, we want you to go to this place. So I put on my chef jacket and my little hat, and I went in there. And
were you nervous?
Yes, I was. I was. I got the job, and I've been there ever since. It's been 4 years. This past October, it's been 4 years. And I love it there. It's really a great place to work. There's great people there.
And where is that?
It's in Winter Park, the Winter Park Health Foundation. It's right behind Winter Park Hospital.
Mm-hmm.
They have a number of programs there. They have all sorts of outreach programs that they do in helping people.
And they also have a kitchen.
And they also have a kitchen.
So who are you preparing meals for at your daily job?
At my daily job, we prepare meals for, there's a lot of people that work there from Advent Health, people that come in to go to the gym. We have a gym. A lot of people will drop by for their coffees or their scones or, we make sandwiches and salads, and I make the deviled eggs.
It's the Nourish Coffee Bar and Kitchen.
Nourish Coffee Bar and Kitchen.
And that's where you first came in contact with Trooper Steve.
Yes.
So tell us, because that's like a full circle moment. Because of that, that's how we were able to meet you.
There was an event happening in the room next to the kitchen, and we do catering. So I was catering the event, and when I went in there, I saw Trooper Steve, and I was like, oh, Trooper Steve! I was so happy and excited. I was like, I really have to meet this guy. He's so cute. Anyway, Trooper Steve was at the podium, and I was like, well, I'll just have to keep going back and forth until I can meet him. But after he spoke, he kind of just disappeared on me. And I was like, I lost Trooper Steve. But then,
slipped through your fingers.
Just like that. Wow. So then there was another event, and Lewis Bolden was there. And I was like, oh, I know Lewis. He's not going to get away from me. So I made sure to get Lewis at the very beginning. And we were talking, and he's such a friendly, happy guy.
Yes.
He says, oh, let me give you my card, which he didn't have. He says, I'll have to get one out of my car after the event. And I wanted to make sure he didn't forget. So I monitored Lewis through the whole event.
I love it.
Yes. So Lewis did give me his card. He's a man of his word. And I told him I would bring you goodies. I said, well, what do you like? He says, I like red velvet.
Okay.
So I knew the following week he would be out of town. So the next week I came in and I brought goodies for Lewis and for everybody to try. So I brought in a sour cream pound cake. I brought in the red velvet cake for Lewis.
That pound cake, that was your grandmother's recipe, right?
Yes, it was.
It disappeared.
You could taste that.
Yes. The secret to that cake is the love.
Yes, that's what I mean. You could taste that.
That's the love. People don't understand when you make a cake like that, because I'm an old school baker. That means you have to get in there, and it's a lot of work. And that sour cream pound cake is one of those you add the love to it. And that's why it's such a special cake.
So you brought that. You brought some other stuff.
I did. I brought sweet potato cupcakes.
Yes.
These are sweet potato cupcakes with maple marshmallow frosting.
AKA evil.
This is sweet potato?
Yes. This is sweet potato.
Tell us about the topping.
The frosting is maple marshmallow frosting with candied mapled pecans on top.
So while you're working in Winter Park, you've now started Kitchen Erebon, which is your own business.
Yes.
Baking these amazing goodies.
Yes.
So what does Erebon mean?
Erebon in the
what's
Greek
the significance?
In the Greek means down payment. I am a Christian. I read my scriptures every day. And one morning in the devotional, this word Erebon, I was like, I like the way that sounds. And it was there explained that it means down payment. So I chose Erebon because I considered at that moment, this would be the down payment on my new life. Because I'm used to being a caregiver, and taking care of everybody, not taking care of me. And I need to, because I'm like, what's going to happen when your parents aren't here? You don't have that responsibility. You need to be able to do something. So this is what I do, and I love to share. So I just try to be as creative as I can.
Still ahead on Florida Foodie, we cut a slice out of a one-of-a-kind cake.
I've had this cake in my head for over a year.
Oh, and this is the first time you've made it?
And this is the first time that I've made it because I was in fear of the cheesecake.
She's a one-take wonder.
Oh my God, I am honored.
And how about a health-conscious dessert? What inspired Kee Gainey to add vegetables to her sweet creations? Kee Gainey spent 25 years as a stay-at-home mom before starting her culinary career. Now she's a full-time chef and a successful dessert maker with a growing list of customers hooked on her delicious cakes and cookies. Let's dig in with Florida Foodie.
So you brought tell us what you brought today, because everything, I wish people could smell this
smells
if
so
they're
good.
watching or listening, because you can smell the goodness.
I'm just taking these.
Right, I know.
I'm just leaving.
So what are we looking at here?
Well, again, these are sweet potato because at Thanksgiving, everybody's pumpkin. What about lowly sweet potato?
Yeah, you're right.
People don't even think that you can make anything like this with a sweet potato.
So what I'm hearing is that what we're really eating are vegetables today, and all of this is good for us.
Yes, it's good for you.
It's love and vegetables.
Yes, we've got vegetables and fruit on the table.
Yes, we do.
Oh, I see the fruit.
We have banana pudding. I heard about a place called Magnolia Bakery in New York.
Yes.
So I read their story and I was like, oh, Magnolia, let's see what Kee can do. So this is banana pudding, of course. There's bananas in there. And I like to make that because it's different than your traditional heavy banana pudding. And then here we have your basic sugar cookies for Christmas.
They're so
These are
pretty.
so beautiful. So,
Thank you.
this is a skill in and of itself. It's one thing to be able to bake, right, and have something taste delicious, but to have it look beautiful, that's a whole nother
The whole
level.
flooding of the icing and
Right.
stuff like that. It's no joke.
Do you learn this at Second Harvest Food Bank, like cookie decorating, or is that just something you do on your own? How did that come about?
How that came about was I like to watch a lot of cooking shows on TV. And in my head, I'm always pretending that I'm Chef Kee. So I went to Joann's and I went to Michael's because they have cake decorating classes and other things that they do. They teach knitting and crocheting stuff. But I went there for the cake decorating to see if I would learn anything other than what I already knew. So I did learn a few extra skills, but that's how that got started. So from there, I just keep branching out into trying new and different things. I like to practice the red velvet. It's kind of like the sweet potato. What else can you do with the red velvet? So here we have red velvet cutout cookies.
Look at that.
That is a red velvet cutout cookie. It works. I was impressed.
Yeah.
And this cake right here, I whipped this up last night.
Hello, beauty.
It's been in my head for the longest time. I was like, it can be done. Just give it a shot. And I really wanted to do it for today. So this is a red velvet cheesecake cake.
What is a cheesecake cake? I mean, it sounds amazing. It's
Very
like
moist.
amazing. Cheesecake cake.
Inside, you have your layer of red velvet.
Okay.
In the middle, you have your cheesecake with another layer of red velvet. And then you have your cream cheese on the outside. And I found these cream cheese chips. And that's what these are. These are cream cheese
I thought
chips.
they were white chocolate.
No, cream cheese chips. And then you put your red ganache and let it just drip down.
Wow.
And that's what this is.
And you say this is perfect for the holidays, but also Valentine's Day. Yes.
Yes, because it's the red velvet.
So while you're doing your day job in Winter Park at Nourish Coffee Bar and Kitchen, on the side you're doing this, where can people place their orders and find your full menu?
Because this is technically a cottage business. This is a business out of your home, correct?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yes, it is. Well, my son is supposed to be getting me websites. I believe I have an Instagram where you can find products from Kitchen Arabon on Instagram and whatever else that he comes up with.
What are some of your other specialties that you love to make?
Yeah, what's your favorite?
What do you love to make and what do you love to eat?
There's two different things. And while you say that, can you grab the knife? Let's do our...
Should we cut into this?
Can we cut into this?
I want
please.
you. I feel like...
Wow, look
Oh
at
my
that.
goodness. I'm going to turn this around so that... Wow.
Look how beautiful that is.
That is gorgeous.
Thank you.
I mean, I've had this because the last time you came in, I was like, oh, I'm going for this. How is it, Candace?
Oh my God.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Thank
This is
you.
mine.
The whole
This is
slice.
the whole slice.
Now I'm going for
This
the
is
banana
fantastic.
pudding.
It's rich, but it's fluffy and it's airy and it's so good.
All the things that I was going for. All the things I was going for. Oh, the banana pudding.
Okay, look at you.
So you said it's light.
It is light.
Okay.
Your standard banana pudding, the way they used to make it, was kind of heavy, you know, had that heavy feeling. What I've done is try to lighten it up so
This is
that
like
you don't
silk.
feel like you're.
It is
No.
so good. This is. I can see your son. He's in the room and he's nodding his
He's
head.
like,
Yes.
yeah, it is.
It is like silk, isn't it?
So how was it? I mean,
Now we have to talk.
so, you know, it's not easy to, you know, there's the whole thing, you know, you don't train old dog new tricks. But, you know, you've lived.
You're
a
living
life-
proof.
Yeah, you're living proof. I'm not calling
She's
you
not calling.
old
Yeah.
by any means, but if you know,
You can
raised your
always
son-
do something different.
Yes.
And follow your heart and your dreams. Yeah.
So what would
Yes.
you tell somebody who's maybe watching at home going, that sounds like that's too tough. I can't do that. What would you tell somebody at home who's maybe thinking of starting something new or refreshing what they have right now?
Well, like me, being that I was at home for a long time,
Mm-hmm.
I had started to doubt myself as to, well, what can you do? What are your skills? You know, everybody's into computers and all of this tech stuff. And
Right.
I can do some of that too, but mostly I was like, well, you can cook.
Mm-hmm.
And I just got into that. So anybody that's in that situation, there is something that you can do, and I'm sure you can do it well. Don't lose hope. Don't give up. Just give it a shot and go for it.
Yeah.
Go for it.
When you were going,
Be persistent because that's something.
yes, definitely be persistent.
what's
So-
the one thing that has surprised you the most?
That has surprised me the most.
While I eat this sweet potato,
I can't stop eating this. I cannot
me
stop
neither,
eating
but
this.
I need to try this. I'm skeptical about the sweet potato.
Okay.
Really?
I am. I've never had a sweet potato cupcake without it being sweet
It
potato.
is so good. And I'm a sucker for like candied nuts.
Oh,
If I eat anything with chocolate, like I want caramel and I want nuts in it. So this
It
was
smells good.
right up my alley.
Okay.
And I love carrot cake too. And I felt like that had some similarities to that.
when I make carrot cake, I add a
Right?
little bit of.
It's healthy. It's all vegetables you're eating right now, Candace.
This is so. This is a holiday, right
It
here.
is.
It's a little mini
It's
holiday.
fall.
It's fall.
Fall on a plate.
Well, thank you.
This
Thank
is
you.
really good.
I also make
cinnamony.
zucchini bread loaves
Okay.
because that is also healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Being that I work in a healthy kitchen,
Right.
you have to think health a lot of times too.
Right.
So I do try to incorporate veggies into my
When you
bakes.
can.
Yes, when I can, especially for the kids.
I can't stop eating that banana pudding.
If you can teach me how to get the kids to eat more veggies, I'll buy
Do it
anything.
like this.
Yeah. This is so good.
People are actually surprised that there's zucchini in the zucchini bread because they can't see it. And that's the point.
Right.
It's in there and it's good for you. The one thing that has surprised me is how much I've actually grown since I was in the program because it did help me a lot. And with the baking, it's just helped me to blossom even further because I considered myself a late bloomer, but I'm arriving.
Yeah.
And I feel really good about that. And I feel proud of myself for that. I've had this cake in my head for over a year.
Oh,
And this is the first time you've
And
made
this
it?
is the first time that I've made it because I was in fear of the cheesecake.
She's a one-take wonder.
oh my God. I am honored. I'm honored.
I was in
You
fear
had
of
the
the
first bite
cheesecake
of it.
Yeah.
because, you know, cheesecake can be very finicky.
Yeah.
It'll crack if you don't treat it right and everything
Look
like
at
that.
it. She's
Yeah.
beautiful.
It did not crack.
It's beautiful.
I did the right amount of time in the oven and everything. Research.
Yeah.
And it comes out right.
Well, Kee, listen, you walked in here so nervous and you're like, oh my gosh, is this going to be on TV? And Lisa was like, no, this is just a podcast. We'll tell her it's on television. I'm like, yeah, you're going to tell her it's on TV.
We're on TV?
Yes. You're a podcast
Lisa.
and TV star.
Wow.
You did great. You did great. And these are all fantastic. People can find you on Instagram. We, of course, will also have all of your information linked at cliporlando.com so people can find this article
Yes.
and look you up and order any of these delicious goodies. This is wonderful. Keep doing what you're doing.
Yes.
Keep experimenting because everything you seem to whip up is a hit. So,
Thank you so
Congratulations.
much.
all right, Keith, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome.
And thank you for watching Florida Foodie. Whether you're new to Central Florida or a local looking for a new favorite restaurant, check out more Florida Foodie on News 6 Plus.